What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Off the Couch Boxing. I am your host, Reckless Rexx Ruger. That, of course, is my ever so silent sidekick, the Alexis Arguello puppet. We are back with another amazing episode. Y'all know what we do here. The most amazing and real boxing conversations anywhere on planet Earth. Legends, luminaries, world champions, fighters on the come up, all coming here to chop it up with your boy, Reckless Rexx. That'd be me. And today is no different. Super stoked to finally run down my guest. We tried it once before. Technical issues prevented us. He is going to be on here, and he is here. So we are going to get into it and chop it up with him. I'm super excited. You should be super excited. And we will get him in here. And there he is. What's up, my man?
What's going on, big dog? All right?
Glad to have you on here, man. I'm glad we finally got a chance to do this, man, because I was so bummed the last time when we had the technical issues, man. So, I'm glad, man. So, hot sauce, catch us up to speed. What's going on in the world of hot sauce?
Man, first of all, I want to say, man, that Marvin Hagler hat is balling, dude. I like this shit, man.
I have deemed it, and I don't even know why, but I have deemed it the summer of Hagler, just because.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm all about that shit, man.
Yeah,
I'm all about that.
Thank you.
Well, no, man, it's been good, though, man. It's really busy. I just finished up with this Team Combat League's season, Team Dallas, and just trying to get back in the gym and get back to what they call traditional boxing, you know what I mean? Get back to longer rounds and doing more sparring and longer workouts. And so, yeah, man, I'm good.
Traditional boxing. So explain what you've been doing for people that might not understand, like what you meant by that.
For sure. So Team Combat League is this newish boxing league to where there's 12 major cities, so there are 12 major teams. So it'll be Team Dallas versus Team Philly, Team LA, and they compete against each other in duels, but each fighter has one round. So it's 1 3-minute round. They go in there, they want knockouts, they want action, they want to highlight real stuff, and they just compete to see who the best fight city is in the whole country, man.
And how has it been going? How do you like that format?
It's different. It's different. It has its own, if I had to put it into words, it's his own sport. Because coming from me, where I'm fighting 10, 8, 12 rounds at a time, to now I'm compressing into one round, it's a completely different sport, man. You got to get your shots off way faster, way quicker than you normally would. And then that, coupled with me fighting a weight class higher too, it presented its own challenges. At the end of the day, though, we made it happen, though. That's what we do. We adjust.
So where are you fighting at in this league, though? Because you are a light heavyweight, usually.
Correct. So fighting up to cruiserweight, man.
Okay.
What's sad about that is that I get to walk around and not really cut weight, which is a good thing, but I'm also competing against guys that are 12 and 13 pounds heavier than me as well. Yeah. So I will weigh in. I think the max, they gave 4-pound grace on every weight class. So these guys are coming in at 203. I was coming in at 192, 193 and stuff, man. That's on weigh-ins.
Yeah.
That's on weigh-ins. So that means on fight night, they can be anywhere between 215 and 225, and I'm still 193.
So these are legit.
But still, pay the bills.
Yeah, so these are legitimate heavyweights then, some of them.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, these are legit cruiserweights. They just, cut down the cruiserweight limit and then went back to heavyweight.
Where do you feel like you are at age 35 right now in terms of like your prime as a fighter? Because you are not a guy at 35 years old who has 30, 40, 50 fights into your belt, man. Do you still feel pretty young at heart?
Man, at heart and mind, hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
And then now what's cool about this day and age in boxing that we have so many tools to our disposal for recovery. You know what I mean? I'm about to leave here and go to shockwave therapy to get my body back right for another session this afternoon. Yeah. But really, I spoke on this early before on a different scene, but this is the part that tells you you're old, your mind. Yeah. Once your mind tells you you're old, then your body fall into place. Once your mind tells you you're still good, it's good. Because think about fighters like Terrence Crawford. I think he's 37, 38 years old, but people are saying he's in his prime. Yeah. A fighter like Keith Thurman, who's 35, 36, people are saying he passed his prime.
Right.
We just go back to like how you feeling mentally. It tells your own body to fall in line.
When you were growing up and you got into the sport, man, first of all, how early did you get a pair of boxing gloves on? When did the journey start for you?
15 years old, 2005.
15. And so were you watching a lot of boxing, and did you have guys that you were looking up to?
So when I first started boxing, I wasn't watching. No, I was not watching a lot of boxing, no sir. But I had this pull and this knack for the sport. I wanted to do some type of combat sport. But growing up, my parents, they weren't playing that shit. They thought me and my brothers were gonna use it to each other and beat each other up. And so I finally convinced my mom to take me to a boxing gym after I was beating up an old mattress in the garage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's
Yeah.
how I wanted it so bad that I would go to YouTube, watch YouTube videos. I think I went to Walmart and I bought like a instructional boxing DVD at Walmart. And
Yeah.
bought a pair of just some academy gloves and then just went to town in the garage. And then wasn't until my mom walked out one time and was like, "Well, you for real, ain't you?" I'm like, "Yes, ma'am." She's like, "All right, tomorrow I'm gonna take you to the gym." I went to the gym in Fort Worth, Texas, man, met the coach, and it just felt like I was home. Natural at it, has some natural skills. Of course, I worked hard and stuff, but it's just a natural at it. And it wasn't until fast forward when I was 22 years old that I figured out that I was adopted and that majority of my biological family, my uncle, my biological father, was all boxers at some point, professional,
Wow.
amateur, or just practicing it, man. So it's weird how when you have a destiny over your life, that thing just happen.
But I gotta say that's probably pretty rare though, because I hear a common story on here where fathers are usually pretty psyched up to bring their kids to the gym, but I imagine moms wouldn't be so stoked to have their kids getting punched in the face for a living. That's pretty rare that your mom was encouraging this.
She wasn't encouraging at all, man. She
But
so my
supportive, but
first
supportive.
she took me though. Yeah, she took me. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
She took me. And my mom, she didn't like it at all. My dad thought I was gonna have Parkinson's like Muhammad Ali from boxing.
yeah,
My grandma
yeah,
thought I was gonna have an asthma attack in the ring. There was a
yeah.
lot of moving parts. And of course, my first amateur bout, my mom was there and she was so nervous. But it wasn't until she saw that I was having fun and actually pretty good at it, she finally eased her mind a little bit.
And so for people that haven't seen what you do, your record is you have 19 wins, 13 by way of knockout. So a lot of people would say, okay, he hasn't had to go to the cards a lot. Right off the bat, they might think knockout artist, heavy-handed guy. But is that a fair assessment of what you do?
I think that's surface level. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like you
yeah,
see it, you go like, okay, you got a little pop. But it's the way that I set up my punching and the way that I adjust in the ring. It's the way that the fight is going this way. And all of a sudden, actually, the best way I can put it, I was fighting a guy, and my buddy came and watched me fight, and he said, "Bro, this is how funny it is. The guy you was fighting was good until he wasn't. You know what I
right,
mean? And I
right,
knocked him
right.
out. Like he was okay, then he wasn't okay. That's how quickly it can turn. Quick.
Yeah. And what would you say, again, for people that haven't seen you fight, what would you say your best attribute is, or the thing that you feel like is the most solid part of your game?
This right here, that mental,
Yeah,
baby. I
yeah,
know it's not a muscle, but I'll say to me, that's the strongest muscle in my whole body, man. When
yeah.
it's like not just outthinking your opponent, but the resilience, the motivation, the discipline, everything, man, stems from here. And that's the part that got me to where I'm at in career so far and continue to push me.
And so you felt like when you went to the gym, that you had a natural propensity to be able to do this. Like you felt a lot of it came relatively easy and natural for you.
I was natural at it. Yes, sir. I was natural. I didn't have any issues listening and adjusting and just things that I was sparring. So I think I sparred within 2 weeks of training. And the guys I was sparring been there for 6, 7, 8 months. And I was beating the shit out of them. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it was easy, it was natural. And so it just came natural. I dived into it. I kept perfecting my craft, man, and it turned out to be successful.
Now, many people, get into the sport and they set like, goals for themselves. You brought up Terrence Crawford. He obviously likes the idea of capturing all the belts at these weight classes, becoming undisputed. Then you see a guy like Manny Pacquiao who goes to a lot of weight classes and attains titles. For you personally, what goals would you like to achieve in the sport?
So my goals in this sport, and I had to come to terms with this before I signed my first pro contract. My lawyer at the time told me, before you sign this, I want you to go and meditate and figure out, what are you doing this for? Do you want to win a world title? You want to
Right.
make a bunch of money? What is it? You know what I mean? And when I came back, this is what I came with. But I said, I want to use the talents that God had blessed me with to make the most amount of money for my family. I
Yeah.
wanted boxing as a sport to provide for me and my wife and my kids. And so if that means
Right.
taking a world title fight for a lot of money, or taking some step aside money, let this
Right.
guy fight for the title, I make more money. Whatever it is, man. I'm with it, provide for my family.
Now, let me ask you your opinion on just a couple of things that are going on in the sport right now. We're a couple of weeks away from seeing Bud Crawford and Canelo. How do you see that fight shaking out? Just get your opinion on a few things here. Yeah.
So I got Nello, man, and I'm gonna tell you why. Weight classes matter, man.
Yeah.
Like they don't matter when they're not skilled, but most of these guys are skilled. Most of these guys have knockout power. This one, weight class definitely matters. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And so you think that this is going to be a tough competitive fight?
I think it's gonna be competitive at first, and then we'll start seeing Canelo pull away. You know what I mean? I think we'll make it close because Crawford, he ain't no bitch, man. He's gonna come to fight.
Yeah.
He's gonna try to put the best effort in. He's gonna be in the best shape. But when you hit Canelo, who's been hit by harder and bigger guys, what's gonna keep him from getting on you? You know what I mean? So I think it's gonna start off competitive at first, and we'll start seeing this right here, separation.
Yeah. I may have asked you this the last time we talked, man, but like, where do you stand on what Jake Paul has brought to the sport? Are you a fan of his events? Are you a fan of what he does?
I'm a fan of anybody who gets in that ring, man. Because one thing for sure, people saying it's scripted, whatever it is, man. He is in there risking his life to take punches, to give punches, and he actually puts the work in. Like I was in camp with Jake Paul.
Yeah.
And I seen he don't in camp, he's not the Jake Paul YouTuber in camp. Right. He goes to the gym, he puts the work in, he recovers, and he goes home. Under all the jokes and the antics and all that, he doesn't bring it to the gym. So he's really dialed in. He's like my 9-year-old son. He really thinks he's a boxer.
Yeah.
So he put in the work to be a boxer, and he's had fights. You know what I mean? Yeah.
But
now,
you think, but on that same note, just really quick, do you foresee him ever winning a world title? Though, is he of that caliber?
And that's what's crazy. You say that because you can manufacture a world title if you catch the right guy at the right time with the right record. You can easily make a phone call. Hey, this is Jake Paul. Put him in the top 10 ranking to fight so and so. You know what I mean? So do I see it happening? Yeah, it can happen. Do I see him being an all-time GOAT in boxing? Not at all.
How about a couple weeks ago? We saw the return of Manny Pacquiao. What did you think of his performance?
Man, I ain't gonna lie, man. Manny Pacquiao shocked the hell out of me, man.
Yeah.
Like I thought he was gonna go out there maybe first 4 or 5 rounds, burn out, and then kind of go into the old man stuff later part. Man, he was competitive the entire fight. You know what I mean? Very competitive.
Now, when you see a fight like that, does that make Manny Pacquiao look great, or is it a bit more embarrassing for a guy like Mario Barrios?
That's a great question, man. You can't never count out the greats, though, Manny Pacquiao, man. So I don't think it's a knock on Mario Barrios, but I just think Pacquiao is Pacquiao. You know what I mean? He still all the fights and experience that he done gained. There's one thing I know about fighters. Once a fighter make it to the elite level, that skill set never goes away. That experience never goes away. Do they get slower? Yeah. Do they get slower? Yeah. Do they have to figure that time? Yeah. But what it took to get there never goes away. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so when Manny Pacquiao just showed that.
That's well said. That's well said. Now, I gotta digress for a minute, man, because people might want to know. I'm a big guy on nicknames. Where's Hot Sauce come from?
Man, so everybody, that's a $1 million question right there. Everybody wants to know that. And I wish I had a super cool story to tell you, but really, when I was younger, like in high school, I used to put hot sauce on everything. I'm talking about burritos, salads, you name it, I put it on there, man. And then that kind of just transitioned. So now I make it hot in the ring. Every time you fight against me, you gonna feel that heat.
And now you're not still pouring hot sauce on everything, are you?
Yeah. What you mean? It's not just a name; it's a lifestyle, baby.
And no intestinal issues, huh?
Nah, baby, I'm built for this.
Cast iron stomach.
Yeah, cast iron. Nah, I need it, man. This is a lifestyle. It ain't just a nickname.
It fuels you.
I put it on everything, even my salad, lobster. I put it on everything, man.
It's like your version of steroids.
I would call it steroids. It's my version of making things taste good, man.
Yeah. So have you thought about your career in terms of how long you would like to be in the sport or how many fights you'd like to fight before you exit the sport? I know a lot of guys on here I've talked to are very calculated about their career. You know, like they know that they don't want to still be taking punches at a certain age, or they don't want to fight more than a certain amount of fights. Are you playing it by ear at this point, or have you thought about your career to that extent?
Of course. That's one thing every fighter, every intelligent fighter should think of, man. But the thing about it, you can make plans, but until somebody throw that 30, $20 million contract
Right.
in your face,
That
oh yeah, I
changes.
got one more left in me. I got one more left in me. Yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah, I told myself when I first started, past 37 at the latest, yeah, man, I'm done. You know what I mean?
But has that, but as I mentioned earlier, though, because you are 19-2 and you haven't taken a lot of collateral damage, do you feel
Mhm.
like your timeline is a little bit older than people that might be at 35 years old that have had 30, 40, 50 fights?
Well, this was crazy that the fights is not really what breaks a fighter down. It's the training camps. So
Yeah.
even though I'm 19-2, I done had 22, 23 professional training camps. And so that's
Right.
still wear and tear, the sparring, the weights, the running, the everything, man. It just breaks your body. Think about your body like a machine. The more you run that treadmill, the more the sprockets and the springs will start popping out and shit. You know what I mean?
Oh,
You can
yeah.
maintain and keep it together for a while, but
Yeah.
that's what bodies do. They break down.
I got parts laying all over the place. I know. And so when you're in a training camp, what would you say is your favorite part, if there is one, about training camp? And what do you like the least about it? I know a lot of guys are probably going to say, obviously having to cut weight and cut back on things that they enjoy eating. I don't know if that's the case for
Yeah.
you, though.
Well, I can start with that. Yeah, the most worst part is definitely the weight cut, man. That's why the
Yeah.
TCL thing was kind of like it was like a little breath of fresh air. I didn't have to cut
Yeah.
weight. The other
Right.
guys on the team was cutting weight, and I was like, "Y'all good? Y'all
Yeah.
chilling? Yeah, we straight? All right, we
Yeah.
good."
Yeah.
Yeah, man. The best part though about boxing, I guess training camp is knowing that at the end of the road is gonna be a reward. You know what I mean? Like you go through all this suffering, all
Right.
these late nights, all this pain through your body and shit, and you have somebody to take it all out in their
I
face. You know
know.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And so
Mhm.
what is your plan like as far as like now you're segueing from this league, like back into what you called, what I mean, like regular boxing, for lack of a better term. So
Yes, sir.
what is the timeline? Is there anything planned, anything on the horizon for you?
Man, we're just in the gym, man. We're just in the gym. So when we get that phone call, we're already ready. You know what I mean? We're not trying to get ready because we're staying ready. So just transitioning back into longer training sessions. This morning, I think I sparred 6 to 8 rounds. It's been a couple, maybe a month or two before I done that. You know what I mean? So it's just getting back into just the longer sessions and make my body get back acclimated. But man, we moving and grooving.
And what would you like to have happen though? Are there guys out there who you personally would like to fight, or is it just whatever gets presented to you? I mean, is there anybody kind of in your crosshairs? Not trying to get you to call anybody out, but like, is there anybody specifically, who you feel like would be an intriguing matchup for you? Anybody that you would like to fight out there?
Man, that's a really good question, man. And I'm a light heavyweight 175. So of course, anybody in the top 15 can get
Yeah,
this work. But shit, there's some guys at 168 at the top that I'll be willing to cut back down 68 for too. You know what I mean?
yeah.
But really, it's just taking one fight at a time and making sure that we stay, like I said, stay ready and stay sharp. Because I know one thing about this sport, they will try to stall you out. They won't get you anybody to fight, or this guy would drop out or pull out. You kind of start getting discouraged. So we're just doing our job. You know what I mean? Staying professional.
So how did you get? How did you get involved in this fight league that you're talking about? Like, were you just, was it out of necessity? Were you having a hard time, getting fights, or did you say, I want to take a break, I'll try this out? How did the offer get presented to you?
That's actually kind of how it happened too. So I was supposed to fight in December of last year, and coincidentally, that fight fell through. And so the tryouts for the Dallas team was on the exact same day I was supposed to fight.
Meant to
And
be.
so,
Yeah.
heck yeah, I got hit up by a couple guys that was on the team last year. Like, hey, bro, you should try out. I was on the fence about it. I was like, one round, I don't know, this is my style. Went down there and sparred, and I was like, look, man, they're not fighting me anyway. I can't, I'm gonna use this to stay active and just get reps. So that's what we did, man. We fought, shoot, man, we fought almost every week. I mean, I was flying out of different cities doing these one round ventures almost every week. So it kept me active. It kept me throwing punches come back at me, and just staying sharp. So we took advantage of it.
Now, what do you think of, again, this is just your opinion, when a guy like Turkey Al Sheikh, who has done some great things for boxing, he's given us some great cards, he did away with pay-per-view, you know what I mean? Like, that's something I'm sure the fans are happy about. But he did make those statements about a month and a half ago about not wanting to see, as he put it, Tom and Jerry fights. You know what I mean? But there are obviously guys who do use their legs, who do use the ring a lot. You know, some fans might say that's not exciting, it's not fan friendly, but it's the way these guys fight. I know he's paying these fighters. He wants to put on the cards he wants to put on. But as a fighter yourself, though, you know what I mean? You develop a style. Is it kind of a slap in the face to fighters a little bit to kind of say, you know, hey, I want everybody to get in there and climb in those ropes and have a knockdown, drag out brawl?
I don't know if that's a slap in the face, because it's kind of what the boxing culture says. You know what I mean? But that's the old thing Kron used to say, is knock out, sell. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's just the age-old thing. Like, people that knock people out are superstars. That's why the reason why Tank Davis is a superstar in Canelo, because they're knocking people out.
Right.
You know what I mean? You have guys that can box. And look at Floyd Mayweather. Before he became Money Mayweather, he was knocking cats out. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah. And so it's not just about the Tom and Jerry thing. Boxing is still a skill set. Don't misunderstand me. You can outbox a guy, but every now and again you gotta put a little stake on it. You know what I mean? Put the respect on your name.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. And you know, we're talking about guys who are currently fighting right now. Obviously, you're a fighter first, but you're also a fan. Who do you enjoy watching? Who's doing it right now?
Man, Nello, that's the number one guy coming to my head. Tank, definitely. Errol Spence was my guy, man, and him and Bud. Bud is a good guy too, man. It's just you had to choose one. You know what I mean?
I know.
But man, there's a lot of guys. I'm a fan of the sport as well too, and not just a recent fan. I've been a fan like back into the 60s, 70s, hell, even the 50s sometimes. You know what I mean? I'll go back. I'm a student of the game. A lot of those guys who were pioneers back then were doing things that we still do to this day. And so yeah, I'm a huge fan. But right now, man, Nello, Bud, all those guys, man.
Obviously, you fight at light heavyweight, man. You know, currently the champion at that weight division, Dmitry Bivol, doesn't look like we're going to see right now that trilogy fight with him and Beterbiev. You know, just going off what we saw in those two fights, do you feel like it's a fight that we need to see?
I don't think so. No, I don't think so at all. Man.
I don't either.
I think the fight happened, and okay, we good it happened, but I don't think we put a 3 on it too. I heard Bivol may be going up to cruiserweight to fight that Jai Opetaia. I can't remember how to pronounce his name.
Yeah, and I know that card, and I know that first card in November. The first one that's going to be free. Beterbiev has gone in a different direction. He's going to be on that card.
Correct.
Yeah,
I seen that. Yes, sir. It's going to be a stacked card too, man.
Yeah, a very stacked card. Yeah, and so do you like that, man? The pay-per-view is gone.
Yeah, man. I think so, because with these pay-per-view cards, the fighter is supposed to get a big bonus of the pay-per-view numbers, but how do you even regulate that unless you have an attorney that goes and checks the books? But a lot of these guys don't have money for attorneys, so how do you even know that you're getting your fair cut of other pay-per-view sales? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know.
So yeah, man. Yeah.
It's kind of like you're just basing it on like you're just going on what they say. Okay, you're telling us
correct.
This many of them. Okay, you know.
Yeah, exactly. You just go with it. You know, unless you have a high power attorney, they can go in there and get those numbers and stuff. You really just getting fed what they're telling you.
Yeah. And now you're saying that the one guy that you really still like to watch the most in the sport is Canelo. I'm intrigued by this matchup again that's coming up in a couple of weeks, though. Obviously, me doing this podcast, I'm in a lot of the boxing rooms, a lot of the chat rooms, a lot of the Facebook pages. You know what I mean? It really does seem like we hear that term all the time. It's a 50-50 fight. But from everything I see, you know what I mean? Each one of those fighters has got their camp of people who think that they're going to win. Is there any way that you could see where Bud could pull this off?
Oh, for sure, man. I would be disrespectful to say he couldn't pull it off. Yeah. But I think he's gonna have the work cut out for him, man. And what's crazy about this, that when the fight was just rumored about happening, people were like, oh man, Canelo gonna win that easily. But now that the fight actually happened, and the hype is going on, people say it's a 50-50 fight. You know what I mean? That's just marketing. Right. It's just marketing. Yeah, man. But Canelo should win. And I definitely is heavy favorite in my opinion. But Crawford, you can't count a guy out. The guy shot in the head and drove himself to the hospital. You know what I mean? Right. You never count that guy. You never count that guy out, man.
Yeah, that's a hard guy to bet against. And so, with that being said, if Bud were to pull this off, now we've already seen him become undisputed in 2 weight classes already. If he were to pull this off, where does that put him in the GOAT conversation?
That's crazy, man. You had to give it to him, man. For him to pull off not only just his third, but 2 weight classes higher. You know what I mean? Really,
Yeah.
3 weight classes higher. He only had one fight at 54. I don't think he really grew into that weight yet. So really, 3 weight classes higher, man. You're unifying all the belts, man. That's crazy work, man. That's gonna be history making.
So it overshadows the accomplishments of even like a Floyd Mayweather then.
I
Or
don't know if
come
it
close.
overshadows. Yeah, I don't think it overshadows. 'Cause everybody got their own lane, but it's definitely a guy we're gonna talk about for years to come. You know what I mean? Definitely.
Have you thought about what your life looks like after you don't compete in the ring anymore? Like, do you feel like, when you actually hang up the gloves, that you're a guy that will make a clean break from the sport, or will you always keep a foot in the sport? Are you interested in other elements of the game, promoting, coaching, training, any of that kind of stuff?
So I'm actually I'm a part owner of a boxing gym here in Springdale, Arkansas. So
Okay.
I train, I teach. I got youth, I got adult classes, I got it all, man. So I'm already got my foot in that also too. So I'm literally around boxing all day, every day. You know what I
All
mean?
day, yeah, all day, every day.
Yeah.
And so, what's the hardest part? Like when you see these young kids who are coming to the gym now and starting their boxing journey. You know what I mean? Like, what are the glaring issues and obstacles that you see with a lot of young fighters? I had Breadman Edwards on here the other day, man, trainer, and he said a
Nice.
lot of the young kids can't get their face out of their technology.
I think a lot of the kids when they come in, man, they're so caught up on what they think it is on YouTube and TikTok with the flashy mint work and all this
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
They come in with these preconceived notions or, well, coach, when you try some of this. And so they just don't know. And they don't know what they don't know. You know what I mean?
right,
I tell
right,
you all the time, like the fundamentals is how you build up to that. You can't just skip past the fundamentals. If you build a house on shaky foundation, it's gonna crumble. So the
right,
same thing, we gotta start with the boring stuff. That's what they don't want to do. We gotta
right.
start with the boring stuff. I call it the microwave era. You know what I mean? Where all these
Y-
kids they want stuff like this, instant,
Yep.
instant, instant.
Yeah,
Yeah, you gotta
yeah.
start with the boring stuff and then build on top of that.
Yeah, I think that's what happens with a lot of. I got a couple of friends who are like martial arts teachers, and back in the day, like they said, everybody wants to come in the first week they want to be like Bruce Lee. You know what I mean? They want to be,
Correct.
doing
Yeah, I'm gonna be a black
flashing
belt
kicks.
in two
Yeah,
weeks.
doing all that kind of stuff. And
Yeah.
uh, and so, is it likely that we will see you in a fight in 2025? Before the year ends. Like,
Oh
would you
hell
like to
yeah.
see some action? Do you feel like we'll see you once? Do you feel like we'll see you multiple times?
Man, I'm if everything go the way I wanted to go, I want to fight at least 2 more times before the year's over with. I
Two
like
more
staying
times.
active. I'm an active type of guy. I like being in the action. I like staying active. I like keeping the ball rolling, momentum going. So if it's up to me, I'd like to at least fight twice more before the year ends.
And now you
For
mentioned,
sure.
having to go up in weight, to participate in this fight league. Is changing weights anything that you're receptive to? Like, I mean, like I know you talked about 175, and there are guys who you could go down and be interested in fighting at 168. Are those the two main
Yeah.
weight classes, or is there kind of like wiggle room where you could go to other weight classes?
Nah, those are in 68 is like pushing it. You know what I mean? It has to
Yeah,
be
that's
like
hard.
for a lot of money to even me consider cutting
Yeah,
down looking like a crackhead to get down there and shit. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
You know,
But
what about higher? What about higher than 175? Does that just not feel
no,
good for you?
it just don't feel good, man. I was like I said, I was 10 to 12 pounds smaller than this guy. You can see the size difference on the TV. Like, damn, this guy is small. You know what I mean? Compared to these
Yeah.
guys, they was 6'3", 6'4", arms way out here. You know what I mean? And so, I mean, skills pay the bills. So if it's a guy that's not that skilled, I can kind of take advantage of and use my speed set on the outside, maybe so. But like the top end guys, cruiserweight, weight classes for a reason.
Do you feel like when you stepped away from, regular boxing and participated in this league, do you feel like now that you're coming back to boxing and fighting like actual, like, 10, 12 round fights, whatever you're going to be fighting, do you feel like that period that you stepped away and went into this league was ultimately good for your career? Do you feel like it was a break that you maybe needed, or is going to end up proving to be good for you in the long run?
That's a really good question. I think yes, you know what I mean? Because like I said, it kind of helped me speed my work rate up a little bit. So before I'm fighting 8 to 10 rounds, you might take the first 2 rounds just catching,
Right,
defense, slipping, maybe a couple
right.
jabs. But because you only got one round to work, it made me increase my punch count and start taking advantage of openings that I would see a lot sooner. And so I think it's gonna be a good thing, man. I'm not saying I'm gonna fight a 10 round fight like a 1 round fight, but it's gonna make me pick things up a little bit quicker, a little bit sooner.
And so did that feel natural to you? Because obviously you got to, as you said, you got to step on the gas a little bit quicker and like almost kind of, almost kind of go against conventional boxing wisdom and actually kind of really get aggressive and really get aggressive quick. Do you feel like that will translate into what you do now going back into regular boxing again? Do you feel like that it has made you a more aggressive fighter?
I think it can help. I think that it can almost like a reset button. You know what I mean? Because an experienced pro fighter, they don't necessarily get more active as they get older. You know what I mean? They start playing the old man games, sitting back on the road. You know what I mean? So just almost like a little small reset button. It reminded me back when I was an amateur, I had to let my hands go. You know what I mean? So now I think it's gonna fall right to this pocket to where I'm more active, but not sitting all the way back waiting on shots to happen.
Listen, man, I'm glad we got a chance to do this. I'm trying to honor your 30 minutes, man. I know you're at the gym. I know you're grinding, dude. I appreciate you making time to do this, man. And, I was keeping track of my timer here. And, man, I always like to be accommodating to my guests, man. You got work to do, man. So I respect it, man. But I'm so glad you came on here and we got a chance to do a proper one. Good audio, good video, man. So, I'm going to advertise it on my Facebook page and I'll probably have it up on Monday, the beginning of the week.
That's perfect, man. Hey, thank you. I'm glad to work, but there's a will. There's a way, man. We stayed at it. We made it happen.
I knew we get it done. I never took you out of the Facebook messengers, man. I knew we would eventually touch base again, man. We were having for people that don't know, we had technical issues the first time, man. You were doing it from your car, but we were in the midst of an awesome conversation. So there's no way that I wasn't going to get back to this and revisit it. So I appreciate you making the time, man. Thank you.
It's good, man. I don't mind doing this again too, man. Let me know. We'll plan it out.
Stay in touch. Yeah, for sure, man. Anytime I have these great conversations, man, I always like to have people on, again and again. So, yeah, stay in touch. We'll do it again for sure. As soon as you got some fight news or anything's popping off, let me know and we'll do it again.
Yes, sir. All right, now.
All right. Thanks, Hot Sauce. Appreciate it,
man.
All
right. Make your choices. Thank you.
All right. Later, my friend. There he goes, folks. Kelvin Hot Sauce Henderson, 19-2-1, 13 knockouts. We last saw him in, as he put it, regular boxing action last October, a unanimous decision win, and he's been doing the Fight League thing, as you heard, and now is acclimating himself, transitioning back into, again, regular traditional boxing as we know, but sounds like it was what he needed at this point in his career. So it looks like the experience was a good one for him, and man, I love talking to that dude. Again, little backstory for people that don't know, me and Hot Sauce tried to have an interview probably within the last 6 months, maybe 6 months ago. Obviously, I like to put out a great product for you guys, good audio, good video. We were just having technical issues, which I'm used to being a podcaster. But I will not put up an episode that is too grainy, too pixelated, too muddled, because not only do I want you guys to enjoy the experience, but I also want the guest to be represented well, to be able to be seen and heard clearly and seen crisply. So I knew I would revisit it because during that episode that I wasn't able to air, me and Hot Sauce were having an amazing conversation. Today I kept it a little briefer than I probably normally would because at Kelvin's request, he's in the gym, he's grinding, he's got a full schedule of stuff to do today, man. So he said, can we keep it to 30, 40 minutes? No problem. Perfect. Anything to accommodate my guest. Always, I put them first and foremost. So I always knew, and I never, as I said, took Hot Sauce out of the messages. I always knew that we would revisit it. We've kept in contact. I've touched base with them here and there. So I knew I was eventually, come hell or high water, going to get a Kelvin Hot Sauce Henderson interview. And we did it. We got one in the books, and we'll have Hot Sauce on again for sure because he's a great guest with great insights, great stuff to say, great fighter, great. So with that being said, again, thank you, Kelvin Hot Sauce Henderson. Appreciate you making the time. Now I got to go into official pimp mode. The pimp hand feels strong today. If you got a podcast, you got to pimp it. You got to advertise, folks. You got to promote. So here I go. Make sure to tune into, well, first of all, tap into Off the Couch Boxing on Facebook. That's not where I want you to go first. I'd rather have you all here. But tap into us on Facebook. The Facebook page is Off the Couch Boxing and Pod Scum. Both of my podcasts, one Facebook page, because I'm not going to carry two Facebook pages. I'm just not built like that. Too lazy. So both of my podcasts, sharing a Facebook page. Tap in there. You'll get updates on new episodes, when they are dropping, who will be on them, and any other big pertinent boxing news. If it is popping off in the fight game, your boy Reckless Rex will keep you guys in the loop, whether it's big fight announcements, results, breakdowns, analysis, predictions, viral videos, anything. If it's jumping off, I'm going to keep you guys updated, and any big news that's happening in the fight game, I try to be really good about posting it on there. And of course, if you're watching us right now, you're in the right place. Like, subscribe, and smash that notification bell to stay tapped in. This is where you need to be. This is where you want to be. Go check the past episodes. Go check the playlist. See how we get down here on Off the Couch Boxing. We run down some amazing guests. We go abroad, international with it. So literally, I always say this, and it's almost starting to become laughable because I sound like a stuck record. But there literally is something for everybody. If you're into hearing conversations with the OGs, the legends, we got them. Young up-and-coming future champions and rising stars, we got them. So everything is covered. Again, we're north of 260 episodes. Blows my mind to even say that. So literally, go check it out. And this is the proof, when you look at that playlist, that Off the Couch Boxing is the undisputed, undefeated heavyweight champion of boxing podcast. We will defend that title. We will put our playlist up against anybody. There might be platforms that are bigger, more views, more subscribers, man. But we are homegrown, independent, man. Built this thing from the ground up. Me and my son, Frankie the Flamethrower. Haven't had him on here in a minute, although he did just jump on for an episode the other day with Danny Bodish. He did the first 160 episodes with me. Family duty calls. Very difficult for him to get on every episode. But literally, we built this thing. He was on the first 160 episodes. And I've gone 100 plus more episodes solo, taking the torch, carrying it, man. Off the Couch Boxing, the brand is growing. I'm checking the analytics all the time. That's thanks to you guys out there watching. Thank you to the viewers, the subscribers, and of course, could not do this without the guests. The numbers are always growing. Every month we are trending upwards. The views are growing. The subscribers are growing. So thank you to you guys. Glad you guys are digging what we do here on Off the Couch Boxing. And that's why we are the undisputed, undefeated heavyweight champion of boxing podcast. Don't take it from me. Take it from the Alexis Arguello puppet, who's obviously not going to tell you anything, but trust me, he believes it too. So with that being said, again, continue to tap in with us, man. This is the place where you're going to get amazing boxing content and just downright real conversations. We're all over the board with it, folks. We go in many different directions. Most of the time, we stay on task with boxing, but we will venture off, man. We'll have some laughs, man. That's just how we get down. We're bringing the art of conversation back, not reinventing the wheel, man, just revitalizing conversation. And we're doing it with all the best and brightest in the fight game. So remember to tap in with us, man. That's why we're the champs. That's my speech right there. And the good news is you too at home can be a champ. That's right. Just like us, you too can be a champ. And it's very simple. You're asking, Rex, how can I be a champion? I'm home. I'm watching you. Yes, granted, you're the champ, but how can I be one? Well, it's very simple. All you got to do is continue to stay tapped in to Off the Couch Boxing and continue to roll with the champs. Peace.